I did have to sign an NDA, and I know a lot of people are like, why are you gonna tell this story? Like, hey guys, it's Sarah Viera. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a get ready with me story time video, and I'm so excited to tell you guys the story. I'm going to be telling you guys about taking my employer to court for not paying me. So I was working in a restaurant service industry for a few years, and my employer wasn't paying me all my tips. So we're going to do a juicy get ready with me story time. So I actually have a lot to do today. Did I moisturize my face? No, I didn't. So we're going to start off with our moisturizer. All right, so we're going to start with our makeup process. I should probably put a shirt or something over my shirt because I don't want it to get dirty. I think I'm just going to like tug in this pillowcase that I have on my shirt so I don't get makeup on it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like this looks weird, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I started working at this restaurant, I think I was in first year university, and I've never actually heard of the restaurant before, but it's a very like prestigious restaurant, like where I am. A lot of like well-known celebrities have been there, which shocks me, and the cuisine is Italian, and that's all I'm gonna say about it because I'm actually not going to say anything else about the people, but I did have to sign an NDA and everything. Here I am doing the story time on YouTube a few years later. So the reason why I'm doing this story time is because I know a lot of people are like, why are you going to tell this story? Like, it's private information, but I wanted to do this story time specifically because I got a lot of people telling me in the Toronto area that this same thing has been happening to them and they don't know what to do. And obviously, if you work for your money, you should be getting paid. So that's why I'm doing this story time. Take it as you will, but remember to always stay protected and protect yourself. What's next? Setting spray. I applied online for this job on Indeed. I first applied to be a hostess. When I first started working in the restaurant, I've never worked in the service industry before, so I was so surprised. This is how I keep all my makeup brushes, by the way. I'm looking for my eyebrow pencil. I first applied for the job online, went in for the interview as a hostess, and immediately after the interview, the manager who's interviewing me really liked me, so he already told me, it's like, okay, you basically got the job, but I have to do these other interviews for formalities, so just make sure you're free like by the following week, whatever. So it's like, okay, I was really excited. I've never worked in the service industry before, and I did get my smart serve because I have always wanted to be a bartender. Look at me now, I've never been a bartender. My responsibilities as a hostess were to seat the guests that were coming in, clean up some of the tables, like help the busboys a little bit. I was also a wine girl, so I would help and get the wine bottles. So honestly, it was such a great experience when I first started, but then I started to notice things were getting off. Oh my gosh, that eyebrow is so dark. That's really dark, but I'm hoping that as soon as I apply concealer, it's okay. So the first time that I noticed things were getting weird was when I was asked to help out with a party. We had a private event room downstairs. My manager told me, hey, you've been doing great as a hostess. I want to get you more into serving, and I want you to help out with this busy party coming up. Can you help out? Oh my god, yay. When the party came, hold on. I have to do my eyebrows silently, so give me a second.
My eyebrow is really scaring me, guys. Pray for me that it comes out alright.
Hold on, I'm actually gonna go check in the other bathroom because I'm scared. The brow actually looks really good. After my manager asked me to help out with the party, I went downstairs. One of the main servers was showing me around, and he said, you want me to show you how to collect payment? I was like, okay. So he was showing me how to collect payment, and then he said, when the tip part comes around, let's hope that they pay cash. And I was like, why does that matter? He's like, because we don't get paid when they don't pay by cash. I was like, what are you talking about? So basically, my one coworker, we're gonna call him Edward. This guy was so weird, guys. Like, this restaurant was crazy. There were people doing drugs in the back. Like, there was a guy who was named after a bird because he delivers all of the freaking cocaine in the restaurant. This place was literally like a movie. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it to you guys. But then there's me like thinking, oh, like everyone is normal, but I mean, I guess, yeah, that's definitely not normal. Let's not normalize that. But basically, my coworker Edward was telling me that if we don't get paid with cash, we won't get tipped. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, if they pay on the machine, then we do get get tips. He's like, we'll talk about it later. So here I am. Edward shows me how to take payment via card. And the person said, okay, we're going to tip on card. And I was like, Edward, they tip. So that means we're going to get a tip. He's like, Sarah, lower your voice. No, not a lot of people know this. They tip by card. They keep it for themselves. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah. I'm also really loving this foundation. I definitely got too much foundation, but we're going to blend it out and see how it works. So after I had saw that we got tipped on the machine, I was like to Edward, what are you talking about? They tipped on the machine, so we're going to get our tips. He's like, no, you're going to see the owner takes the tips. I was like, the owner? Like, how does the owner even come in? Long story short, I kept on working all of these events in the party room, and we only got tipped if it was cash. And even then, it wouldn't be a full amount. So the second that Edward told me that, I always started taking photos of all of my receipts and keeping them for myself. Because I was like, hey, this is weird, but they're not going to play me. I don't know why, but I just kept taking all the photos of the receipts. And then one day, I remember I would work doubles. And I wanted to work as a server, like a main server at this restaurant, also in the bar. But honestly, they didn't take me seriously. They're like, Sarah, you're too pretty to be doing work as a server. Like, you have long nails. You're going to get your nails messed up by the dishes. Like, you don't want to be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Make me a server. He told me he'll make me a server if I become a busser and last for a month. I was like, okay, it's not bad being a busser. I'll be a busser. So I was a busser for a few weeks, and then honestly, I stopped caring about the job itself because after working doubles and the long hours, I was just exhausted and I was just fed up with management. I did not get along with my general manager. When I was a busser, he would cut the other bussers and leave me to be the only one cleaning the restaurant because he knew that I'd eventually like leave. He didn't like me. I was also one of 2 black girls at the restaurant, and so much happened at this restaurant, guys. Like, he literally told me I was told by the owners not to hire black people. And I was like, hey, why did you hire me then? He's like, because I really liked you and I don't know, we just vibed. I was like, that's still like stupid. As I stayed there, like, that was the only person at work in the management position that I liked. The general manager, like, if I saw him at the side of the road like this, I would drive past him. Like, I don't like that man at all. On like a Friday night, he would try cutting the other bussers and leave me there alone at like 10. And if I was closing on my own, I'd be there until like 2 a.m. Little old me with my long nails, with buckets of dirty dishes, taking them to the dishwasher, cleaning tables. It wasn't horrible, but I just hated it when I was the only one there doing it. And I knew he did it because like he was cheap, didn't want to pay out the other bussers, and he was just annoying. It was really freaking annoying. Moving on, one day I called in sick for my shift. I raised my voice to the general manager once, and ever since then he did not like me. He was like, Armando, you can go home. Sylvester, you can go home. I looked at him in the eye and I was like, you want to cut out these other guys when we still have an hour worth of reservations coming in?
His face got red.
Everyone was looking at us, and I didn't even mean to say it like that or call him out, but I was just like, you know, when you're in the heat of the moment. I was in the dish pit helping the dishwasher, and I freaking hated doing the dishes. Bussing was separate, but dishes were horrible. So after that, that's when he didn't like me, and I called in sick like a week after. I wasn't sick, but I just wanted to be at home with my man, and he just didn't like me. So after that, he was just gunning after me. So one day after a horrible shift, I was just like, you know what, I quit. I handed in my notice, and then after that I was like, you know what, I'm about to be server. Like, I low-key regret it. So I was like, can I take my notice back? And they're like, no, we already hired someone else. And at this time, my manager that I liked, he left. I wonder where he is today. So my friend was like, my one friend, the other black girl at the restaurant, was like, I'm gonna start a petition to say, please let Sarah stay. But like they said, like, they didn't really want black people there, right? So it was super awkward me to go back and be like, yeah, can I actually stay? He was just over it. He was ready to have me go. So I was like, okay, and what about my tips? He's like, what tips? I'm like, the tips that I was supposed to get that you guys never paid me. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay. So I went online, Googled Ministry of Labor, and I also told my dad about the situation. My dad's like, Sarah, report these people. Like, that's not legal. And I was scared at first, but I thought it was just all gonna go through Ministry of Labor and then they'll get back to me. Here I am Googling how to take your employer to court, and I actually find a link. I basically see a document online showing me how to proceed, and I put in online how much money I think that they owed me, and then I filed the paperwork online electronically. And then after I file the documents, I get a call from my caseworker that they assigned me, and she's like, hi, I just want to confirm everything that you filed and confirm that you want to proceed. And I said yes. And then from that moment she said, okay, so how it works is we contact your employer and give them 2 weeks weeks to resolve the matter before going to court. And I was so scared because they were going to take it to my manager, the manager to the owner, and I was like, crap, like I was so scared. And I was so scared thinking like they were gonna kill me. I watch a lot of crime. But at the end, my employer tells the Ministry of Labor that they want to resolve with me. So I get an email from the lead location because this family who owns the restaurant owns like they own a lot of restaurants in Toronto and in Miami. Like this is a very prominent, like, don't mess with these people. So they said that they wanted to resolve the matter with me. So they invited me to like a location downtown after I stopped working with them. Like right after I stopped working with them, I filed online because I was like, run me my check. And I decided after I was done working with them that I was just going to focus on school, fast track my last year in university and like leave. So they asked to meet me in person to discuss, and I get there, I beg my boyfriend to come with me. My boyfriend comes with me and I am so scared, guys. Like I am freaking out. When I get there, we go in the room and they have a lawyer basically. Like it's not even the owner of the restaurant. They obviously don't have time for that. I don't know why I expected my general manager who hated me to be there, but they had a lawyer show up and she was basically like, oh, we're so sorry that you think that you haven't been paid in your tips. To tell you, we're sorry, we're gonna give you $500. I was like, $500? This isn't even the tips. Like I was working at this restaurant, I think for about 2 to 3 years, and it was not $500 at all. And my boyfriend's like, take the check, go. I said no. I said, can I have some time to talk about it with my party? I said party. I didn't want them to think that it was just my boyfriend, blah blah blah. And before going into the meeting, I had emailed my university professor for tips because I was scared and I didn't know what to do or how to proceed. So he gave me a little bit of advice, but he told me don't take the first offer that they give you because they're lowballing you. So after that, I told her no, like I actually have receipts of all of the tips that I wasn't paid. This is the total amount that you guys owe me. And she's like, okay, let me talk to them and see what they're thinking. I was like, okay. So then we move rooms. She takes me downstairs to this huge area and I'm freaking out. My boyfriend's still with me, but I'm freaking out because this building is huge, guys. She basically comes back into the room like after my boyfriend and I are sitting there, offers us water. I said, no, what if it's poison? Boyfriend's there. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I was so freaking scared, guys. She's like, okay. And she doubled the initial amount that she was gonna give me. I was like, now we came to play. And I was like, no, I'm not taking this offer either. I want this number. She says, I can't do that. This is actually our max. And I said, well, you told me that the first offer was your max. She's like, okay, well, then I have to go ask him. And then I was like, okay, go ask him. Not my bib falling off. So she makes the call to, I'm guessing what it is, the owner of the restaurant, and tells him that I'm asking for more. And she basically comes back and says, this is the final offer we can give you. This, they have to compensate everyone else now. And I'm like, you guys are lying, because other people in my restaurant tried to come forward and say that they weren't paying them tips and they want to be paid out, and they got fired or were not given shifts anymore. So I was smart enough to do it after I left the job. Going forward, I was like, well, I'm not here representing the other people. Like, you need to pay me. And if you're not going to pay me, you're going to be on CB24, which was my local CNN or like my local news. She was furious and fuming. I got one final offer after that and I still wanted more. But my boyfriend was like, Sarah, you're going to cheese these people. And these people like are actually kind of scary. Like, I low key think, what if they were in the mafia? Like, dead ass, like, what if they were? Not to say all Italians are in the mafia. But they were Italian and these are big scary men. Like, I was scared. So my boyfriend was telling me, stop negotiating with them. You got more than you came here for. Not my powder dropping. You got more than you came here for. Let's go. Then he started making me nervous and I wish I actually, oh my god, my powder's almost done. Guys, look at my powder. Just means I have to go buy a new one. Oh my gosh, it's almost October, so I can go to Sephora and get my birthday gift for the month. After that, I sign an NDA and they make me tell them that I'm gonna tell anyone, even previous workers. Then a few weeks after that, one of my coworkers tells me that someone saw me in the actual building there and was asking like what I was doing with head office, and I wanted to say so badly, girl, go get your tips. But I didn't like anyone there, basically. I didn't really like a lot of the people there, so I didn't tell them what happened and I basically cut the tips. From that moment on, after getting scammed by my employer, I learned to always count my own hours. And so many people said that the same thing happens to them. They weren't paid their tips from other various restaurants. So this is your sign. You have to be taking photos of all of your receipts, all of your paychecks, calculating it all on your own. And what makes me mad the most, it wasn't even the manager or the general manager that was stealing, it was the owners. And as a server, compared to the rate that the owners make, like a bowl of pasta for them cost them 12 cents and they're selling it for like 20 bucks, and they're stealing from people who are working for next to nothing, which is so pathetic. Anyway, I was scared for a little bit after I filed with them, and honestly, if there's anything that I'm gonna say to you guys, don't be scared or nervous to take your employer to court for not treating you well. Honestly, as unfortunate and stressful as the situation was, it really just taught me to always count my own hours. And I think it also told me to like never be scared to stand up for yourself, because I am not confrontational at all. It took a long way to get like this. Like, do not ever let nobody take you for granted. People don't realize how hard it is for bussers to work, especially as a girl. Like, I was grinding out there with my long nails in the dish pit, but that was definitely one of my most fun and like memorable jobs. But yeah guys, here is the final look. Let's remove the bib. I crimped my hair and I'm so excited that I did. And here is the final look. So that is the end of my story time. Get ready with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever gone through something like this with work, or if you would have handled it the same way that I did. Don't forget to like, comment, follow, subscribe. I post every week, and I'll see you guys next week.
Red.